Hello everybody, welcome. I hope you're really well. You know, one of the great joys of coming into a role like mine as an outsider is that one can see with fresh eyes some of the strengths that perhaps a learning community has taken for granted. The British school Rio de Janeiro is by far the most authentically inclusive international school I have encountered in 2 decades worth of experience working in them. This is something to be incredibly proud of. In opening our doors to children facing sometimes quite significant challenges with aspects of their learning, we're truly living our values. And at the same time, by the way, we're all enriched by the experience of living and working in a diverse and caring community. Now, continuing to evaluate and improve the ways that we support learners in a diverse learning community was the principal challenge set out for us by CIS, the Council of International Schools, in their final report to us of November 2023, probably our most important accreditation organisation. And so, coming in, I felt it important to recognise that by identifying this area as one of our 3 school priorities for the next 2 years. We call it, for the sake of a one-word title, support. You know, one of our school's greatest strengths is the use of the team around the child, or TAC approach. Here, all of the key professionals involved in supporting a given vulnerable child, be it special needs teachers, education psychologists, English as an additional language teachers, milepost coordinators, heads of year, senior leaders, they come together to hold regular case conferences to evaluate the progress of the child and the effectiveness of our current provision for that child. And at certain points regularly, the child's parents also join these conversations, and possibly so too do other external support professionals working with the child. Trust me when I say that these meetings are very impressive in their unwavering focus on the best interests of vulnerable individuals in our community. But there is, if anything, a greater challenge when it comes to support, which is to ensure that we support every child in our school to realise their potential, and in every subject. We need to wean ourselves off of our archaic addiction to the notions of passing and failing that have propagated so much mediocrity and complacency in education down the years. Instead, we need to move to a model, an approach that recognises the uniqueness of each individual child, that understands that each child has different potential, one from the other, and across the different academic disciplines. We need to set personalised targets and differentiate in our planning for learning to ensure that all of our children make great progress, regardless of their starting point or what their target is. However, to do that, we will need every teacher to know every student really well, their strengths, their areas for development, and their cognitive profile. That, if I'm honest, is still a journey that we're on. But it's one that we've made a really good start with. On March the 6th, for example, in our first whole staff in-service training in recent memory, we had the title, Knowing Our Learners, Nurturing Our Values. And we spent a good deal of time at that exploring the full potential of CAT4 cognitive profiling data to support a more sophisticated and targeted approach to teaching and learning. And that work has continued in department meetings and after-school training sessions since. And I've also been speaking to parents at PTA meetings in both schools about this same area, which I'm quite passionate about. You know, in that original inset, March 6th, I posed the following question to colleagues. 2 students sit the same exam. One scores 58% and the other 85%. Whose performance was better? To me, the answer is, who knows? If you can tell me which student achieved closest to their potential in the exam, then I can answer it. Sir Ken Robinson, whose TED Talks on education on YouTube have been watched by literally millions of people, and I heartily recommend them to you, said this, which I think aptly summarises what I'm trying to say here, summarizes. what I'm trying to say here. The future for education is not in standardizing, but in customizing. Not in promoting groupthink, but in cultivating the real depth and dynamism of human abilities of every sort. Have a great weekend, everybody.